Hi, Kat Chancellor here with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to show you some projects as paper pumpkin alternatives to the February Paper Pumpkin Celebrate Spring set. So here is the set as it comes. Inside the set, if you open it up, you're going to have these envelopes. Now you're going to save these. And we're going to have these cards here. We're going to make a card out of that. These look familiar because we've just made the card that we put on a base. And we're going to take these because we're going to make a card with these. Now the other card we're going to make is we're going to extend our paper pumpkin by taking these and cutting these in half to create some half pieces like this. Okay, so we're going to get like six. We're going to get 6 extra cards out of that, and then of course these are all the other pieces and parts that you're going to punch out. The nest, these eggs, and then this wonderful little wreath here, and then these flowers. So we're gonna use those. Projects are these cards right here, and they are Easter spring cards, as well as the ink spot, which is the Shy Shamrock. Now, when you do subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you get the entire kit, but you're also able to order what's called replacement kits. They do not have the ink spot, and let me show you what stamps that come with it. And here are the Celebrate Spring stamps. What I really love about this set are these little Easter eggs here, this grass. It has some really nice stamps that you can use anytime, and I collect all my Paper Pumpkin sets, and I keep all the stamps because, as you can see here, I have an old one. This is Sweet Springtime 2024. Here are my stamps, and I used my bunny stamp over here to make this little bunny that I'm going to use as part of my project. So I go back and look at old save, and I try to come up with alternative projects. Now here are the alternative projects I've come up with, but I've also combined it with the Easter basket stamp set that came out of the catalog. Easter bunny from the Easter basket stamp set, as well as these are pieces from the Paper Pumpkin set. I came up with this alternative here, and I'm using the paper that is in the catalog for Easter, and I just kind of came up with this idea. I came up with I cased this idea using the little egg stamps, and I'll show you how to do that. Very simple, with just some basic white and some silver to create that card. I ran it through an embossing folder to give it kind of that very nice baskety look, and then used a sponge dauber with some crumb cake to let it show up a little bit more as an Easter basket. And I put my little bunny in that basket. Now, what I found as a really useful addition to this set is, and it comes with a die that you can use to cut out the flowers of this beautiful washi tape. Now, I'm going to show you, I just simply put the washi tape on 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. I'm going to demonstrate how you can just cut out the flowers with the dies, and it just adds some additional options as embellishments for the color scheme for this Paper Pumpkin. Just a little bit of pink pencil, and I have the little yarn as a little bow. And this grass is also from the die. I mean, I just found things that I could use just to kind of bring it together. You may remember this pink ribbon here, which was part of the bubble bath ribbon, and this was part of the suite for my last project. I used pieces from the set to create this using that little bunny. These are the projects we're going to put together using the pieces and parts that come out of this set right here. And specifically, we're going to use, I took some of the yellow card blanks and I just cut them as one piece because this can go very nicely into an envelope and it's going to the children's hospital. So I have that card. These are pieces that are part of that card. And I'm going to bring in my little bunny. There's lots of other little pieces and parts that you can cut out, as well as these wonderful little sequins. I have a basic white card blank that I'm going to layer with silver, and then we're going to have a piece of basic white, and I'll give you the dimensions, but that's going to create this card here. This is the card that I'm using, just a piece of basic white, and I'm going to use this along with this piece and a little bunny. This piece here, I'm going to use this strip of paper from the envelope, and I'm going to create this card. And I also, it comes with some little eggs right here, and I'm going to embellish those using some of my glitter so that they kind of have that nice little glimmer to it. I will be using several stamps from this set, so I want to put that there. I've already stamped out this little bunny that's going to go there. That's going to be what you need for that card. This card here, I'm going to take this basket, I'm going to use to create this card with this little bunny cut out here. I will need this, this, and this, as well as some other pieces that I'm going to cut out using my other dies. And this card, I'm going to need another piece for the inside, but I found a die, measures about 2 and almost 2 7/8, or 2 and 1 to about 2 3/8 across, and that is going to be used to cut out my inside. And then I'll have another piece that I am going to use to create this card here. And I'm using some of these flowers that I'm going to cut out from this washi tape here. That's called the Extraordinary Floral, and the colors just match really beautifully with that. I am using the Shy Shamrock ink, and you just open this up. Now this is just really beautiful paper, and I used it on the inside of this card because you can see where I kind of had that layered. It's just really beautiful. It's a beautiful foil from this Easter Joy 12 by 12. Just really some beautiful, some very festive patterns. Now Paper Pumpkin has had a price increase. It's gone up. What I love about the value of a Paper Pumpkin kit is that you can take the kit and you can just make the card straight away. Or you can use the coordinating products that Stampin' Up! Offers and come up with other types of alternate projects. And in doing that, you really extend the products that you have on hand. You can use old Paper Pumpkin stamps if you keep them. is another spring one. This was February 2025, 2024. So I keep these, right? I have these as things that I can use. And then just looking at what's in the catalog, there's just so much that you can combine together and come up with some neat projects. So I hope you're excited about this, and I'm going to have the products and dimensions are going to be on my blog. Sit back and let's get started. Okay, so for the first card we're going to do is going to be a card, and you're going to need some of your own basic white cardstock. You're going to need a base card that's basically your standard 5.5 by 4.25. Then you're going to need a piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 4.75, and your silver is just going to be just 1/8 of an inch larger. I'm just going to cut it 1/8 of an inch larger. So here's our sample, and I'm using basic gray as my ink for my eggs, and I am using the eggs that came from the Celebrate Spring set that we're using. Now I'm using this tool here because what I want to do is I want to align this, and it's got like a laser light. So I'm going to align this at the top of my tool. It's called a mini laser square. And I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape just right here because I want to make sure I have a straight line. Now you can draw a line, but I have my little square. You can see I just kind of want to make sure that I have this line here across where I can stamp my eggs. So I'm going to move that right about there, and it's going across, and that way I can just begin to stamp and make sure that my eggs are straight. And you need this about, the bottom of your egg should be about an inch from the bottom of your paper. So that is just about where I have this right there. It's an inch. Okay, so open up my ink, and we're going to start out with the middle, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this egg, and this egg is just going to be right at the top right there, and I can see my middle is right there. And then I'm going to do this egg. And there we go. I have a straight line of eggs. Now I'm going to bring in some stamping blends that I'm using, and so I'm just going to go ahead and I start with my lightest color first. Now I'm going to take my Tombow 990 and we're going to just go underneath my eggs and just kind of offer like the shadow, and that just kind of helps to kind of finish them off a little bit. It just kind of gives you a little bit more dimension. Now I'm going to take the Happy Easter in basic gray. There you go, just put in 3 little diamonds there, and that card is done. Okay, next card is, this is going to go on a base card here. And I have this little bunny here, and I have my basket. I'm going to take Cane Weave 3D embossing folder, and I'm just going to emboss the bottom part. So I'm going to turn this around and we're going to put it in. We're going to put it in like that. I'm also going to bring in this piece and show you how, using the Extraordinary Floral, we can go ahead and cut out these flowers. Okay, so here are all the flowers. And the nice thing about this, so I cut that, but I can also just sit it and I'll cut all of these, and then I can move this over here and I'll cut all of these. So it will cut everything on that tape. Take my crumb cake and I'm going to kind of bend my basket a little bit, but you can see how nice that comes out. And then we're just going to go along the edge. Nice texture. Now I have a piece of grass here. I'm going to glue that. It's going to go there. And I'm going to grab a watercolor pencil in Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to grab my dark bubble bath. So this is going to go there, and he is going to go right inside there. And I'm going to grab a piece of Baker's Twine. It was a 3-color pack, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a bow. I'm going to let that dry right there. Springtime Greetings. And this Springtime Greetings is from this Sweet Springtime February 2024. So I have that. Now I'm going to bring in some of these flowers because we're going to embellish it like that. So our next card is going to be this card here, where we're going to use one of these blanks and we're going to put this on a base that is going to measure here, right, 5.5, or yeah, 5.5 by 4.25. We're going to cut this down and we're going to make this card using this wreath here, which I've already cut out, and I've used half of this. This is the whole wreath right here. Okay, so I used half here. Well, then we're going to use the other half right here for this side, and then I'm using my little bunnies from that other paper pumpkin kit, as well as the grass stamp here, and then the little tag that came with this, and that little tag is right here. I'm going to use this little tag right here to put our sentiment. Now I'm also using a blending brush and some lemon lolly because I'm going to kind of highlight this middle area here. So I'm going to begin by cutting, this is our base, I'm going to begin by cutting this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and this is 5 1/4 was going to be right there. So this will fit nicely on this, and I'm going to put, this is going to be popped up on dimensionals, and I want to put my little bunny right there. I'm going to have to bring in my little muffin tin here. I have my little rabbits that I've cut out, but then I have some little pink ribbon that I've cut here. We cut these flowers out here. So to kind of finish the arch here, I am going to use some of these. I'm going to use some of these flowers because they do match. They do match nicely, and I think it would be, it's kind of a pretty, well, kind of pretty to put those there. And what I want to do is just going to trim this right here, and that kind of turns it more into an arch. So let's create our arch right about there, and I'm going to add this here. I'm going to add this here, and I want to add a flower. Okay, so I'm going to add those to kind of be my arch. But let's take this aside, and I'm going to bring my lemon lolly in. And we're just going to add a little, let's kind of add a little bit of And since I'm going to have this right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the grass, and I'm going to use my shamrock. And I'm going to kind of put it in this, in this area right here. And I'm going to use the stamp off technique. That's pretty good there. Now I'm going to bring in a cutting mat, and what I'm going to do is I want to set my rabbit. It's not going to be on top of the grass. He's going to kind of be a little bit inside the grass. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and I should have a little bit of an opening there. You can see a little bit of an opening, so I can kind of put set some of him right in there. See, and he's kind of sitting in the grass. So that's where I want my bunny. Now that I have that piece, and I'm going to have this over here, I can start building this piece. We're going to build it right around like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so there is our third card using our paper pumpkin kit. Okay, this is our next card, and it's an open fold card. You're going to need this blank here, which we're simply going to crease, and then we're going to create the inside, which this measures 8 by 5 1/4, 8 by 5 1/4, and we're going to score at 4 to create our inside piece. And then for this inside of the card, you're going to need a piece of DSP, and this is going to measure 3 3/4 by 5, and that's going to go right inside your card front like that. But the important thing about this card is that you need to find your layering square dies, and with your layering square dies, you're just going to line this up, and we're going to cut out the inside, which we're then going to stamp. So that is the first step, is simply line this up, and if you need a piece of washi tape or something, we're going to go ahead and put that there. There's my die, and then here's my piece that I just cut out. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take this piece here, and we're going to grab the stamp Sweet Spring and grab my Shy Shamrock. Now this, I'm going to just simply crease it here. And I just want to show you that I did kind of put this just kind of outside of the flowers there. Flower there and flower there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our other piece of cardstock and we're going to score this at 4. Okay, so that's the inside of my card, and I am going to put that here. I'm going to line this up right about at the edge right there. And that's going to open up. There you go. It's going to open up nicely like that. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and take this piece that we cut here just kind of gently glide over this. You don't really want to glide over that paper too hard. And we will crease that. Now we're going to just grab this piece here and we're going to, it's going to fit right in there. And we're just going to slip that right in that hole. And it will open. There it is. So now we're going to embellish the outside of this, and I am going to use some of my wonderful pieces here. Because I kind of want them to kind of look like they're not really, they don't really have to pop up, they're just kind of part of the whole design. Okay, so now I'm just going to come over here and take some little baby pearls and I'm going to embellish the front of my card. Isn't that pretty? This has a really nice sensibility. So the inside of my card I'm going to stamp with Happy Easter. There you go. There is our card. So that is, I believe that's card number 4 of our cards. Okay, so now we're going to move on to this card, card number 5. And with this card, we're going to need an egg cutout that came with our kit, and we're going to need a little guy, and I used for this, I used a little wobble, so I have a little mini wobble right there. Now I've kind of done a basket weave effect here. And I have my Easter eggs kind of sitting in the grass. So the first thing I'm going to do with my Easter eggs is I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. Let me just bring you in a little bit. And I'm going to use, I have my rock candy glitter here, and I have a little spoon, and I'm going to just add some glossy accent. Okay, that was a mistake, so I gotta. So we're just gonna. I'm just gonna hit some circles here with my glossy accent. Really very nice. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. Alright, now I'm using the paper from the back of this envelope here as my paper to weave in between my card. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to cut this off. I'm then going to open this up, and I am going to glue this to this piece right here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I need a little bit more substance to our paper as we're doing this. This will make it a lot easier. This is a little bit heavier than just the envelope paper. It'll make sure that it will be able to manage more easily as you weave this through. So I'm just going to grab a cutting board here, and I'm going to cut right here. Now, to create our cuts across here, you're going to grab your pencils, and I'm just going to measure an inch. Just very lightly, just measuring an inch. And I don't want to go any farther than an inch, so I'm going to measure an inch here. And then I'm going to measure an inch here. Okay, and then I'm just very lightly with my pencil, I'm just going to score a line so I kind of know. I'm kind of creating a light box. I could probably go a little bit over, but we're just, I'm just creating a box in here, as you can see. Let me just move in. Okay, so then I'm going to put this in here. I'm moving it another half an inch. I'm lining it up. I'm lining my crease line up with the half an inch, and then I'm going to make sure that this goes at the 2-inch. You can see that right there. That line's at the 2-inch, and then I'm just going to bring that down. Okay, then I'm going to go another half an inch, and I'm moving this line over to my half-inch line there. Again, I'm just making sure that this is even here. And I can hold it and I can see, okay, that looks good. So I can bring it down another half an inch. Make sure that's, line that up to the half an inch there. And there at the 2. Bring it down to there, which should be at the top of that flower. Move it again to another half an inch. Right? I'm lining this line up with that. Goes up to the 2. Bring it over to another half an inch there. It's at the 2. Bring it down to right about there, just at the top of right there. And then I'm going to do it one more time right here. Again, lining it up here and making sure that this last line that I cut is lined up with that half inch mark right there. I'm going to move this up here because I don't want to go through that flower. I'm going to go up to there. I can go down just a little bit more. I just hit the top of that flower. Okay, I've made my openings. Now I'm going to grab my eraser. Okay, so you can see I've got this on the back, and that's why we're going to need another piece of DSP to put back there. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece here, grab this, and we're going to cut this at I'm just kind of laying it right in there. We're just gonna cut it at. So these are going to go into here, and I could start kind of like putting this one in like this. And then this is going to go in. That was actually kind of big, so let's start here at the bottom. So I think at the bottom we want this one to go like this. See, and if it's got a little bit more, because it's I put that extra paper on the back, so it's a little thicker and it's a little easier to weave. Now I can go ahead and I can cut this right here. Okay. And I can cut these. Okay. I'm going to grab this glue here. I can take a Springtime's Greetings here. And there's that. And then we're going to grab our grass. And we're going to just put some, and I'm going to stamp off because I don't want the grass too noticeable. I just want just enough. Right? Just enough to know it's there, not dark. And we're going to take our little eggs that have already dried nicely. And we're going to put them right here. See, I want there to be grass around there so that I can just kind of put these like that. And you can see some grass around it. Then I'm going to grab my wobble and I want my rabbit to go right there, kind of in the middle of that. And I want my rabbit to be on this side of the wobble. Right about here. And that way you can see all the great stuff that we made. Now this one was made, the lines that I cut were a little bit closer together. They're more like 1/2 inch, or rather 2 or 1/4 inch, a little bit larger than that. I wanted to keep it kind of 1/2 inch so it's a little bit easier to kind of thread your paper through, and also that it, by adding some cardstock, or rather some doubling the paper on the back of your envelope paper, you kind of have an easier time. Now the last thing we have to do is we're going to open this up, and I'm going to put a piece of DSP there, and we're going to put this one right here just to kind of cover that up a little bit. And that gives this card just a lot of, just a cute little bunny card right there. Okay, so now I want to do the final review. But first I want to show you that I took 2 paper pumpkin refills. Okay, this is my paper pumpkin subscription, and then I had a refill, and this is how I keep my paper pumpkin after I complete them. I have a cover, kind of an insert that I print, and then I just keep the stamps, and I save these in a file. Now why these are so important is just simply because you get the added versatility, because I use these stamps from the February 2024, this is the February 2026. I use this little bunny stamp for our project, and I'm definitely going to be using these egg stamps for future projects as well next year. So the paper pumpkin Celebrate Spring February 2026, I'm going to show you my alternate projects, the final reveal. Okay, we're going to just start with these wonderful little bunny cards that I made, and I just used one piece to create these. I used the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder to give me that wonderful texture, and then I used my crumb cake with a sponge dauber to create some more wonderful texture there. So I'm going to put these over here. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 there, and I used this extraordinary floral. This was the tape, and this is the stamp set that comes with the die that cut out these wonderful flowers that coordinated beautifully. Again, that's why I love Stampin' Up! Products. Everything coordinates well together. You can just pull things out of your crafting stash. The next one I created were these wonderful little weave cards that have a little bobble there. So I created these 2, but I also just want to show you that I also went ahead, just took my little bunny, if you don't have wobbles, and I was able to create these as well, alternate paper pumpkins, using these wreaths and the wonderful little sequins that came with it. So I created these 2 as well as my little baubles with this basket weave background. Just trying to kind of keep these organized. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I then created, actually that's 10. I then took some of the Lemon Lolly card base came with the paper pumpkin. I just cut it in half so that I could make some additional ones. And I came up with 1, 2, and then I used some, I guess this is either a kind of a sage green, and there's my lemon lolly. I also had an extra blue one, so I did that one as well. And the key to this project was that I used the grass and kind of cut that neat little opening there so my little bunny sits in the middle of the grass. So that's 10. This was simply the card blank that came with the paper pumpkin set. I just simply added another piece, and you open it up and you have Happy Easter. And I use a square die, so I have that one and I have this one that I created. Just fun. Again, embellishing it with those extraordinary florals and some pearls. If you don't want to go through the trouble of cutting that, again, you can just simply use the paper pumpkin products. But look, go ahead and embellish them with some of these wonderful little florals that come with that extraordinary floral. So that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And then finally these two that I created using those lovely egg stamps, 27, 28, almost 30 cards out of 2 paper pumpkin kits that were supposed to just give you 9. I just think this is a marvelous example of the versatility of paper pumpkin, how you can make alternative card projects, and how you can also coordinate with your Stampin' Up! Products. So, if you haven't already, please hit like. All products are available in my online store. If you're on a budget or if you don't have a lot of time, Paper Pumpkin is just a really good option to get into crafting without a lot of expense. Please go to my blog for the project details, and if you're looking for a demo, please consider joining my team, and please consider joining as a hobbyist for $99 to enjoy a 20% discount. The new catalog will be coming out, so that is just an extra bonus because there's lots of new products. And if you are a demo and you like my content, please support my channel by hitting like, share, and leave a comment. This is Kat Chancellor for Stamp Art Connection at stampartconnection.com. Thank you for joining me. Happy Easter and happy crafting.